1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, everyone, for joining us for this post-match press conference following England versus Australia. We're joined by Australia captain Aaron Finch. As you will know by now, we take questions from the press conference room here in Dubai before we'll shift over to Zoom. If you have a question, please can you put your hand up? And if you are selected, you'll need to unmute yourself, ask your question, and then mute yourself immediately following. So I will start by taking questions in the room, please. Can I just see a show of hands?
Yeah, hi, Aaron. Dean Wilson here. What was your take on that game in the end? Was it just complete dominance by England, or did you have a bad day?
Oh, they completely dominated us from the start. I think any time that you go a handful down in the power play, any time we felt like we started to get a partnership, we just kept losing a wicket, and just meant we had to try and sit in longer to hopefully get to a total of around 150 and see if that would be competitive. But as it was, we probably needed a few more.
You've obviously played a lot of cricket against England down the years. Have you come up against a team as strong as this one?
Yeah, they're very good. They're very well rounded. They've got a lot of bases covered in terms of their quicks, spin, death bowling, and their batting's as powerful as anything. I mean, when Rash is batting at number 10, you've got a pretty good lineup. So yeah, they're a dominant side, no doubt. We've seen that for the last couple of years, but. We had a bad day as well.
And just finally from me, Joss Buttler's performance, where would you put that one? It looked pretty special. Yeah,
it was an outstanding knock. He struck the ball cleanly. We knew that they were going to come hard as well. So, yeah, it was just one of those things that you have to keep pressing when you got the ball in your hand, and it didn't quite go away.
I guess Mitch Starc hasn't been hit onto the top deck too often and back-to-back deliveries.
I'm not sure. No, I don't think so, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. And Steve Smith, is he okay? Is he holding his groin? Is he?
No, he'll be fine.
Bit of a twinge or something?
No, he didn't mention anything, so I'm sure that he'll be fine. We're all getting a bit old, aren't we?
Okay. Are there any more questions in the room here? No? Okay, I think we'll now switch over to Zoom, so over to you, Cole.
Yeah, we'll start with Salman Khan.
Thank you, Aaron. Today was not your day, and England completely dominated England in all departments. But you think that what was the turning point? Where did you guys made wrong?
I think obviously the power play was they bowled very well, put us on the back foot, and then we're under pressure to try and get to a competitive total. So all credit to England in that power play, the way that they squeezed us, kept taking wickets, which obviously when you go in with six specialist batters, that probably is going to leave you a little bit short at times.
We'll go to Arkum.
Hard luck, man. Shane Warne earlier said that he was disappointed about your selection of playing Steve Smith and not playing Marsh, and also sending Maxwell in the power play. Do you agree on his views? And also guide me through the dew factor, because Mohammad Nabi last night, he also said that the dew factor was not into play. So how did the dew factor play today?
Yeah, the dew come in a little bit towards the end there, but I don't think it would have made a huge amount of difference. What was the other one? Maxwell going in the power play. When you've only got 6 specialist batters, you're backing your top 6 to get the job done. So there's no issues there. Maxi's done it extremely well in the past. He's as destructive as anyone if he gets through the power play. So that's okay. And what was the other one? Smith instead of?
Smith instead of Marsh.
Oh, that's just subjective, isn't it? You've got everyone's got a different opinion on it, and no, that's okay. We thought we picked a team to win the game tonight.
Sorry.
Hello. Well, there we go. Louis Cameron.
Hey, Finchy. Yeah, just kind of picking up a little bit on that. Can you just kind of explain what was the rationale behind leaving Mitch Marsh out, and how did you kind of feel like that balance worked out, mate?
Oh, clearly when you go 3 down in the power play, it's not an ideal scenario when you go in with that structured team. The reason Agar was in there was we felt it was a really good matchup for England. His ability to bowl in the power play and through the middle overs in the past against England has been really good. So we just felt that was the way to go tonight, and it was not a reflection on how Mitch has been going at all. It was purely just a match-up thing for this game, and it was unfortunate we didn't get the job done.
Just more generally with this team, Aaron, is there a sense of it still kind of gelling? Obviously, it's a very different team to the one that you took to the West Indies and then that obviously played in Bangladesh as well. Is there still you're kind of figuring out how you work together? Oh,
I don't think so. I think majority of us have played a lot of cricket together over the years, whether it's over different formats. So I think that can naturally that happens anyway. So no is the simple answer to that.
Scott Bailey.
Yeah, Aaron, I know it's a very simple question, but how do you turn things around, mate, when it's a thumping like that? Like, how do you make sure that doesn't become a psychological thing going into a game and what are we, 4 days' time?
Oh, I think we've got a couple of days off to refresh and recharge. The boys have been training really well and deserve a couple of days off. So it was a quick turnaround from the Sri Lankan game to today. So recharge the batteries and then a couple of really strong days of training and then we'll be back into it. So yeah, there's a lot of experience in the group. I'm not concerned about carrying baggage into a different game against a totally different opposition.
Dan Braddock.
G'day, Aaron. Did that result cast your mind back at all to that 2019 World Cup semi-final where England and Chris Woakes specifically sort of got on top of you right from the off?
It hadn't until right now, so thanks for that, mate. Yeah, he's a fantastic bowler. When there's anything in the wicket in particular, he's a beautiful bowler, presents the seam and can seam it both ways. So he challenged both sides of the bat tonight and like he did in that game at Birmingham. So yeah, if we come up against him again, we're going to need a bit better plan.
You mentioned the plan there. Is there anything specifically you can do differently in that situation, or is it a case of just saying too good?
Oh, I think each individual player will have their own plan, and that's probably not going to change a huge amount. For me personally, I tried to bat out of my crease to try and take that LBW out of play, and it was just one of those nights where Davey got a decent one early, Smithy toe-ended one, and Maxi missed a pick-up off his pads, which you're generally expecting to hit. So that can happen in the power play when you're looking to be aggressive. So, just blown away though.
Thank you.
Rohit Juglin.
Tough luck, Ron. Just want to ask that, can you tell us about what's happening with batting first in more than 10 games, not seen teams scoring runs? Are you picking up something, why it's happening? Asking about all the teams, not specifically about Australia, but are you picking up something?
I think with the wicket, they've been reasonably dry, and then once the lights take effect, even when there hasn't been dew, it feels like the wicket is skidding on a little bit more. So that's all it is. So I think teams have probably been a little bit more cautionary in the first 6 overs when they bat first to try and get through to them back end of the innings, but. Batting second seems to have been the way to go. So the toss has been really important in this tournament so far.
Usama Zafar.
Hi, Aaron. Hard luck today. I just wanted to ask you, what do you think went wrong today in today's game? As Australia started pretty well in the tournament, but right now you guys didn't play well in this game. And also, there is one thought that Australia are not that good team in T20 eyes as compared to the ODIs. So, what do you think about that? Thank you.
Well, it wasn't too long ago that we were number one in the world, so I still think that we're a very good team in T20 international cricket. Everyone's got their own opinion, so that doesn't it doesn't really matter. What matters is result. So that's fine if you think that we're a really ordinary side, that's okay. And what was the first part of the question? Where did it? We got 125 on a wicket that probably after the first 5 overs, the wicket seemed to die down and play a little bit better. So the fact that we were 3 down in them 5 overs probably just we just had to hang in the game a little bit longer than we would have liked. We couldn't have been, we weren't able to be as proactive. So that's whenever you get blown away in the power play, it tends to happen a little bit like that.
Last one here, folks. Louis Cameron.
Aaron, I just thought I'd ask about your next 2 games against Bangladesh and the West Indies. Obviously, the results didn't really go your way earlier this season. Earlier this year. Does that count for anything? And do you kind of look at these 2 games as basically must-win?
Oh, they're definitely must-wins. Yeah, I think our net run rate took a hammering tonight. So we're going to have to beat our best again. Bangladesh are a very, very good side, and so are the West Indies. A lot of firepower in their team, a lot of experience. So, yeah, absolutely. It's must-win from now on. But we're looking forward to it.
Thanks, Louis. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for your time, Aaron.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Mitchie.
Change it around and bring Owen in, and then we'll do a follow-up with UK. Just go in. Yeah. Just so you sorry about that. Last minute change. Just you have to just sort something out.
Okay, once again, thanks very much, everybody, for joining us for this post-match press conference. We're joined by Owen Morgan, England captain, following England versus Australia. We will take questions from the room first before going over to Zoom. So can I please see some hands in the room, please, for questions?
Okay, we'll go John and then Adam. Go ahead, John.
Hello, Owen. I guess you enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's pretty convincing win. Obviously starting the tournament as well as we did in the first 2 games. Not easy games, but I thought the guys played really well. Today, coming into it, you'd expect a really tough test, and we always do when we play against Australia. I thought we bowled again brilliantly and fielded brilliantly, and put Australia under pressure, created opportunities earlier probably than we have done in the past. But it just goes to show how well that we have bowled and adapted to conditions, and even not letting them get away to a score that that might have been a bit more of a tricky chase, say a 140 or a 150. I thought the bowlers did a great job.
Has Joss ever hit the ball more sweetly than that?
There's actually a game that we were talking about while he was, going bananas out there back in 2016, where he scored I think it was a 43 or 46 ball 100 against Pakistan here in a 50-over game, where very similarly he just seemed to hit the middle of the bat over and over again. He's obviously one of the best players in the world, and when he comes off like today, it's very difficult to stop him.
3 wins out of 3, all chasing. I mean, would you like to win a game batting first?
I think we're going to have to throughout the tournament. We've spoken about it, what might change, if anything. But the thing that I liked about the way that we played today was conditions didn't change, Dew didn't come in. We continue to try and play our way and not try and pace our run. Unless we get pegged back, still try and come hard, and guys did that.
Hi Owen, week in, you're making it look easy. Does this England side have anything or anyone to fear?
Here, I think every game that we go into, we pay every opposition the amount of respect that they deserve, regardless of the name of the country on their shirt. I think that's why we can perform probably more consistent than we have done in the past. And I think sort of moving forward, it's always a matter of looking at ourselves and testing ourselves to try and continue to get better, as opposed to looking at opposition.
And just on yourself, you've only had to face 7 balls all tournament. Do you think that's a measure of how good your captaincy's been in the field?
Yeah, obviously captaincy's only reflected on performance of the players within the side. We've had a really good run of it so far. I think the whole of our top 7, 8 guys we will need at some stage. We go to Sharjah in 2 days' time, and then again, I think it's in 5 days' time on Saturday, where we'll probably be taking more out of our comfort zone than we have been both here and Abu Dhabi. So again, another challenge that we're looking forward to.
And is rotation on your mind over the next 2 games?
No.
And what about the decision on not using Moeen with the ball today? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's just a reflection on my captaincy. The matchups at the time didn't suit. They do suit for some of the Australian players, but they were already dismissed. And I thought that worked really well. Moeen is quite a relaxed guy and knows the role that he plays, both before the game and during the game. That's always communicated across all of the bowling unit. We try and adapt and talk about what might work on the wicket against different players. And today, fortunately, he wasn't needed.
We'll take one more in the room from Dean Wilson and a few off Zoom. Go ahead, Dean.
Even though you play Australia quite a lot, I don't imagine you get those kind of results very often against them. When you're out there in the middle and it's all going so well, can you stop and enjoy it at all? Can you kind of think about how much fun you're having?
I think as hard as I try, I struggle to, just knowing that you're playing against such a strong side, and they bat really deeply. And when Finchy bats with the guys down the order, there's always that element of how much he can hurt you if he gets going, and the difference of 1 over can be the difference in a game. So I thoroughly enjoyed the chase, and I'm enjoying myself now. But at the time, I'm trying to manoeuvre things that restricts the total that we're chasing to the minimum amount.
And just on Joss quickly again, down the years, people have called him a freak and a genius and all these things we've seen through his performance. Is he taking the game to a new level, do you think? Do you think that he's showing us things that even surprise you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's certainly one of our players, and there are a few of them that are at the forefront of change in the game. They're not he's one of the best players in the world, but yet he's still trying to improve his game and get better against every single bowler that he faces. It's not just targeting bowlers that might suit him. It's every bowler. So when you've got guys that are at the forefront of change within the game and like positive change, taking the game forward type stuff, it says a lot about the guy.
Okay, we've got a few requests on Zoom. We'll just take one each from the following. Let's go with David Charlesworth first, and then Matt Roller. Go ahead, David.
Thanks, Danny. Hi, Owen. Given the way you started the tournament, have you reassessed your opinion about being second favourites, or do you still think that's the case?
I still think that's the case. Obviously, chasing in all three games has its advantages. I think the way that the bowlers have bowled has been outstanding. The favourites in the tournament have only played one game. You can't just judge one team on one particular game, so they probably have a lot more to show as conditions probably get tougher.
Okay, let's go to Matt Roller and then Scott Bailey.
Yeah, hi Owen. Could you just speak a bit, please, about Chris Wokes' spell with the new ball and his performances across the tournament?
Yeah, Wokes has been excellent. I think over the years, his strengths, have been epitomised tonight. He's one of the best new ball bowlers in white ball cricket in the world. He's accurate, his pace is up, he's very confident in his all-round skills. It's not just about hitting a line in length or trying to get the ball to move. In our first game that we played here, he bowled a beautiful slower ball to dismiss Evan Lewis. So the growth within his game is huge, even though he's been right on top of it over the last 4 or 5 years.
Let's go with Scott, please.
Yeah, Owen, did you get flashbacks at all to the 2019 World Cup semi-final, the way that game started, especially with Chris Wokes doing the job early, and then even with Jason and Josh doing the job of the bat so aggressively at the top of your end?
Not really, just different challenges. I think our record at Edgbaston is incredible, and had been in the lead into that World Cup for the last 4 years. We take a lot of confidence playing at that venue and on that wicket. Obviously a different challenge here against a side who's trying to adapt as hard as we are to conditions. So just a different feeling with the two different games.
And then we'll take 3 more, starting with Arkham and then Rohit Juglan, please.
Morgan, most matches have been low scoring, around like 130s, 140s. Do you have a better idea about the pitch, and do you foresee some more runs being scored, and especially when we're going to the semi-finals and finals, maybe 170, 180? Do you see that?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think with the semi-finals and finals being Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and then Dubai, you'd probably foresee the average scores being probably around par, so between 160 and 170, maybe a little bit higher depending if the dew comes in. But as far as Sharjah goes, we haven't seen a really flat wicket at Sharjah, so I think it'll just continue to be challenging.
Okay, Rohit, and then we'll finish with Lewis. Go ahead, Rohit.
Thank you, and congratulations. From here to Sharjah, I know it's early, but you played Max game there as a KKR captain. Tell us how much confident are you for that venue, especially for that venue, especially the way your spinners are bowling.
Yeah, I actually don't think that you just have to have good spinners to do well at Sharjah. I think you need to have good seamers as well. During the IPL, we sort of did both with 2 really good spinners, but also we had good quicks in amongst it. And the wickets that we did play on had variable bounce that actually favoured the seamers a little bit more. So within our England squad, we do have options that we will look to use and trying to adapt both against Sri Lanka and South Africa.
And last one, Lewis, thank you.
Hi, Owen. There was a bit of a suggestion tonight that Australia, a bit of a limiting factor for Australia might be that they haven't played a whole bunch of T20 cricket together, even though they're made up of individually talented players. Thinking about your own team, is the familiarity with roles coming into a tournament, is that particularly important?
I think roles in any side is very important. I think the only time that we've had a full strength T20 side over the last 2.5 years was in March in India for 5 games. But apart from that, we haven't had a full strength squad out.
Okay, we're done. Thank you very much, everyone.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for your time. Cheers.
Recording stopped.